Winkler and Sally Fields. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Today we gave Pearl Michael $16 just for watching the Dialing for Dollars movie. It can happen to you, but you've got to be watching. So make sure you watch, and maybe you'll get a chance at $16,000. See you tomorrow here on the Dialing for Dollars movie.
Good evening, I'm Nolan Johannes.
And I'm Karen Harch. Tonight in the news...
I'm Dan Fiorucci. Tonight, part one of our series on nuclear energy, splitting the atom. How safe is it?
It's all because of this that North Scranton is saying park it, and it looks like they are finally going to. I'm Kathi Belich. I'll explain in a moment.
I'm Mike Stevens in Mansfield. Tonight, we'll harness up some of the old times on the Pennsylvania Road.
Plus, Tom tells us about another storm on the way, and Joe's Own with opening day at the ballpark.
Newswatch 16 is next.
In your car, listen to Newswatch 16 on WKRZ AM 1340.
Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Nolan Johannes, Karen Harch, pilot Jack Rulin in Skycam 16, Chief Meteorologist Tom Clark, and Joe Zone on sports. This is Newswatch 16.
People who live in North Scranton have been dealing with a nasty problem for about a month. And now it looks as though the pressure they've put on city officials has finally paid off. Newswatch 16's Kathi Belich has the story.
A mine flushing project in North Scranton has been kicking up a lot of dust here for some time, literally. Heavy dump trucks make about 300 trips a day, bringing piles of comb from miles away to this flushing site off Theodore Street. The trucks pass the home of Viola Norkitis, and she says it's a dirty shame. Her home is covered with a dirty, oily film.
I'm furious because I have nobody here that is going to clean it for me.
Her neighbor, Stanley Hodorowski, says the dirt always makes its way into the houses, too.
My wife has to wash the kitchen floor every day, and fight the dust every day that the clots are all black.
But now it looks like they'll get temporary relief from the noise of the trucks and maybe permanent relief from all the dirt. Scranton's Mayor James McNulty has stopped the flushing project until federal mining officials come up with a better plan. But he also recognizes the problems they're having, which are causing problems on the city's north side. They can't easily find comb banks nearby their flushing projects to eliminate all the hauling and the dust.
Now, the comb dumps are no longer available because they're owned privately and people want to get paid for them, and the Office of Surface Mining hasn't wanted to do it.
North Scranton residents in this neighborhood weren't looking forward to putting up with this for another 2.5 years, so they're glad that the dump trucks are in park until officials find a cleaner way of flushing the underground mines. Kathi Belich, Newswatch 16, Scranton.
Newswatch 16 continues with our Gallup poll on next week's presidential primary.
Plus, later on, we'll take the Pennsylvania Road to rein in a story from Mansfield.
Hey, Joe.
The Pennsylvania presidential primary is about a week away, and we here at WNEP TV, along with the Gallup poll people, wanted to find out how Pennsylvanians will vote come April 10th. We sampled more than 1,000 registered voters between March 26th and 29th of this year before the New York primary, because the Democratic winner of that primary on April 3rd will have an advantage when we Pennsylvanians go to the polls. Here's what we found. Gary Hart and Walter Mondale are in a very tight race for support among Pennsylvania Democrats. Actually, the race is too close to call. Of the registered Democrats polled, 42% say they'll vote for Hart and 40% for Mondale. But in our poll, there's a factor for sampling error, a plus or minus 4 percentage points, so it's about even. Jesse Jackson appears to have little support in Pennsylvania. We also got response to these statements. As far as trusting the candidate's judgment in a crisis, more people chose Mondale. And here are the answers to the statement that he promises too much to special interest groups. You could take a look at those numbers. As far as seeking a fresh approach, Hart came out overwhelmingly on top. And here are those numbers. You can see Hart with 60%. And whether he would best represent the interests of working men and women, Mondale came out ahead. There are the numbers.
Tonight, you'll have a chance to meet the Democratic candidates for representative of the 11th Congressional District. WNEP TV is setting up right now for the live candidate debate from 8 till 9 tonight at Wyoming Seminary in Kingston. We're co-sponsoring the debate along with the League of Women Voters of Wilkes-Barre. There are still seats available if you'd like to be part of our live audience, but you must be at the Buckingham Performing Arts Center by 7:30. You can start calling in your questions for the candidates right now. Toll free anywhere in Pennsylvania, 1-800-982-4374. And in the Wilkes-Barre area, 826-1616. The phone lines are open, so you can start calling now. Moderators for the candidates for that debate will be Karen Harch and Frank Andrews.
Last week marked the 5th anniversary of the nuclear accident at 3 Mile Island. This Wednesday we'll see a dress rehearsal for a nuclear emergency at the Susquehanna Steam Electric Station, a nuclear power plant near Berwick. Tonight, Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci begins a 5-part series, Splitting the Atom. How safe is it? Tonight, special security at the Luzerne County plant and being ready for an emergency.
You're watching a nuclear emergency. A water pump feeding the reactor has failed. And now alarms are going off, warning of a potentially dangerous temperature buildup within the core. Within seconds, workmen isolate the problem and solve it. The emergency you've just seen wasn't real, but simulated. It was conducted here in a building that's an exact replica of the control room of the Susquehanna nuclear plant near Berwick. The operators say it's drills like these that help make the Berwick plant safe.
I think the systems that we have here, we are able to detect early any problems that we might have and effectively deal with those problems.
Not only are safety systems built into the reactor control room itself, they're also built into the grounds around the plant. No vehicle can enter without a thorough inspection by an armed guard. And no person can enter without walking through sniffing devices so sensitive they can smell the cigarette smoke on your breath.
You have perfumes that'll set it off, aftershaves will set it off, certain cleaning fluids, anything that would resemble any sort of explosive.
And if anyone tries to bypass the bomb detectors, they'll find other barriers. All around the plant, there are television cameras like this one. And next to the television cameras, 2 fences with barbed wire on top. In between the fences, an extremely sophisticated device called a motion detector. These motion detectors are so sensitive, they set off alarms even when a rabbit walks near them.
That's correct. That's a very elaborate, safe security system.
But so much for security systems. What about the business end of the reactor? The part that puts out 1,000 million watts of power. A look at that in our next report. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16 at the Susquehanna nuclear plant near Berwick.
Newswatch 16's chief meteorologist Tom Clark is next with the forecast.
Tom, baseball season is underway today.
Yeah.
How about spring? Is that really underway?
It really is. Well, the past 3 days, gorgeous.
Amen.
But another storm is on the way, and will it be rain or snow? We'll find out when we come back.
Everything from whitewater to black powder to beavers biking and bows, from copperheads to whitetails to casting, calling, and crows. You'll see stalking fish, fixing poles, rainbow trout, and snowy owls, setting traps, drilling holes, earthworms, and waterfowls. Whether you're a fan of the Eagles, Browns, Bears, or Giants, or of Joe and Stan and the Mountain Man, or some Tom Duck or Harry, watch hiking, frying, riding, tying, skiing, and flying on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, Saturday at 7.
Let's check out the backyard with meteorologist Tom Clark. What's it like out there tonight, Tom?
Not too bad, Karen. I was wondering if you've seen any robins yet.
No, not yet. I haven't.
None yet?
One.
I've seen about a dozen. Birds chirping now in the backyard. We've had plenty of robins out here the past few weeks. And me and Noreen are hoping that a robin finds this spruce tree again, because he had a nice nest in here last year, and hoping he'll build right in there again this year. Perhaps he will. Temperature now, partly cloudy skies overhead, and the reading stands at 50 degrees. That's not too bad. Humidity 38%, the wind is light, and the barometer is holding steady. The range in temperature 51, that's about normal for the high today. The low this morning 26 degrees, the record low Forget it. 19 back in 1977. 80, the record high for this date. Shot there of the pond in Kirby Park, just across the river from downtown Wilkes-Barre. Now let's go to that satellite view, and I want to show you these clear skies out over Phoenix, Arizona. It has not rained in Phoenix since January 5th. 88 consecutive days without precipitation, an all-time record for that location, and if you don't like rain or snow, that's the place to live. Now, voters in the New York primary tomorrow, a dry day for the voters up there in New York, and even a dry day coming up tomorrow for Pennsylvania. But take a look at this out here, the 5th major snowstorm, or should I say just 5th major storm of the spring season. You can see the big curl of clouds as part of the flow around that storm. Very hot down in southern Texas, 94, the nation's hot spot in McAllen, Texas today. But near blizzard conditions now in parts of Nebraska and Colorado. It's a heavy wet snow, and in some places up to 2 feet has fallen. But this storm system will grind its way to the east and swirl up towards Pennsylvania along about Wednesday, and it will not bring us snow. It looks like a rain event for us, probably nothing too terribly heavy, which would otherwise cause some flooding problems. I'm not expecting that this time around from this storm, but indeed the weather will go downhill tomorrow night, and it could be raining here by Wednesday morning. Here's the forecast for tonight. Just some clouds overhead, a partly cloudy night, but it will stay dry. Temperatures for the low, 29 in Honesdale. How about in Askham, Hanover Township? Hello out there, 31. Your low tomorrow morning. 31 in Palmerton, Selinsgrove 31, and about 30 in Montoursville tonight out there in Lycoming County. Tomorrow, a nice day. Lots of sunshine with some clouds mixed in. Not too bad at all for spring. 56 in Towanda, 55 in Archibald, 51 in Hazleton, about 55 in Hughesville, out there in Juniata County, Mifflintown, about 56 tomorrow. A southeast wind late in the day. The Health Watch reflecting sunshine tomorrow and low humidities. And the sunrise and sunset coming up right there, 5:54 and 6:31. The day is getting longer. Partly cloudy tonight, fair tomorrow, the middle 50s. The rain begins on Wednesday, 47 the high, and a couple of showers on Thursday. Friday looks nice at this point, but if it's going to rain or snow, let it be rain this time and let it come on a Wednesday and not a Saturday or Sunday.
Amen.
We're holding you to it.
Nice going.
Thanks, Tom. Joe Zone is next with the sports, and it's a red letter day for Joe, the first day of the baseball season.
Plus, Joe will have the final Super 16. Stay with us as Newswatch 16 continues.
The candidates debate.
Live tonight at 8. Take us out to the ballpark.
Yes, baseball.
All right.
Forget the snow.
Right.
No more snow, right? We said that last year on opening day. Yankees are getting rained on, which may be one of the best things that can happen to them this year. They're in Kansas City, and the game has been rained out, postponed until tomorrow. Go to the board. Yankees, KC, postponed rain. Chicago 5, Baltimore 2. Boston, California tonight. National League, Cincinnati 8, New York 1. Could be a long season, and I'm not just talking about the early start. Looking over the tough American League, I don't see a lot of happiness. I can't remember, maybe 75 when I was so pessimistic about the Yanks' chances. Potentially they're awesome, but problem is the Orioles don't have to worry about potential. They're a known commodity. So we make Northeastern PA TV history today. For the first time since I've been here, I am not picking the Yankees to win. I know it's... I hear you. Hopefully, however, though, by picking the Orioles, I've given them the kiss of death, and the Yanks will win it anyways. The rest of the division, Detroit, Milwaukee, Toronto, Cleveland, and Boston. American League West is Chicago, 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 and Chicago. National League picks tonight, and I've got a couple of surprises there. No surprises as far as I'm concerned in the final Super 16. Let's run down the very elite group of high school basketball teams. Number 16, Western Wayne, 16 and 13. 15th is GAR, 26 and 7. Number 14, Dallas at 24 and 10. Number 13, Selinsgrove, 22 and 6. Number 12, Hazleton, 18 and 9. Number 10, Allentown Allen, 28 and 8. Number 9, Northern Lehigh, 26 and 6. Number 8, Panther Valley, 20 and 12. Number 7, Whitehall, 24 and 9. Number 6, Bishop Hoban, 20 and 9. Number 5, Pottsville, 31 and 2. Number 4, Lord's Regional, 27-5. Number 3, Allentown Central Catholic, 30 and 5. Number 2, Northwest Area, 33 and 1. And the number 1 team, Williamsport, 30 and 0. And I'll tell you, they were celebrating in Williamsport today their Class 4A state title, the first ever, and we hope you had a chance to see that game here live Saturday night, we'll be presenting the Super 16 #1 trophy to the Williamsport team later on this week. One final note on the Super 16. Some people say it's garbage, nothing to it. Maybe. But I happen to look at the first Super 16 of the year, and I see Williamsport #1, Northwest #2, Pottsville #3, Bishop Hoban, Panther Valley, Lord's Regional, Allentown Central Catholic. All of those teams that went on to win district and state titles were ranked in the first week of the Super 16, and I feel very comfortable with that.
You're very modest to say you feel comfortable about picking all those. We'll say congratulations, Mr. Zone,
Thank you,
Sports
Joe.
Department, and you did a fine job.
And coming next, Mike Stevens takes us on the Pennsylvania Road to Tioga County.
There we will meet a man who keeps an age-old craft alive in the age of engines.
Skycam 16 is everywhere.
Our Mike Stevens is on the Pennsylvania Road. Tonight he's in Tioga County visiting a man whose profession is fading away. Mike thought we ought to stop and take a look before it's gone for good.
Come in here for a little bit into this shop that's been part of Mansfield's main street for over half a century now. People who are lucky age like this shop has. A couple of creaks here and there, lots of good memories, but still a lot of life. Ernest Upenlotz is lucky. He has gone the way of his shop.
After I graduated from high school, I came in here with my uncle, and that was in 1922. And I've been in this same place ever since.
There was lots of work for a harness maker then. A farmer's horsepower more often came on 4 feet, not 4 rubber tires.
Here you have to know when to stop when the leather gets too flabby to make what you want to make.
There was lots of interesting work.
There was a person that was inquiring about a headgear for an elephant, but before he got to it, he died. Not the elephant, but the owner.
In his 80 years of life, Ernest has seen us become mechanized, so not as many folks come into the store today. But if they do, Ernest will be there, at least for a little while longer.
I like to meet people, and if I retired and stayed at home, people wouldn't come to my house to see me, but they'll drop into a place like this and have a visit, and I enjoy that. My decision now is to carry on till my health plays out, until I can't do it any longer. I do turn down some rough jobs now because I can't handle everything.
Well, nothing goes on forever in this world, but sometimes you certainly wish it would.
That's what I often tell the people. Everything changes in Mansfield, but the old harness shop stays just the same.
I'm Mike Stevens, Newswatch 16, on the Pennsylvania Road in Mansfield.
And that is Newswatch 16 for a Monday.
And don't forget the candidates debate live here on Channel 16 beginning at 8 o'clock.
Karen and Frank Andrews will be there, and then we'll be here tonight at 11 for the update. Thanks for being with us.
Enjoy your evening.